First of all, and I loved Wyoming. It was a great college, but they're the only ones in the state. So they can be, I don't know, selective, but yeah, selective. I walked in and I've got all these credits. So no, you don't. You have to take our version of American history. So Washington didn't cross the Potomac? What? So I got my third associate degree, and then I was in the nuclear missile field, and I was done. I couldn't go any further because I was in the missile field. That's 3 to 7 out, 3 in, 3 to 7 out, 3 in. I was a nuclear capture team. I mean, what are you going to do? And I've heard about this program called Bootstrap, which I guess doesn't exist anymore. It's for 1 year. They send me off, and I come back, and I get my bachelor's. And I went to the Bootstrap program, University of Wyoming, and completed a bachelor's of anthropology with a focus on forensics. My goal was to go to Silhide, Hawaii, look at bones. I'm like, yeah, that's the plan. Didn't happen. Yeah, got it all done. I put my package in, and they were downsizing officer slots. So I'm not bitter. Okay, I am bitter. I'm bitter. They said, you're married to enlisted. We're not going to take your package. I'm like, the lady that motivated me. They said, well, resubmit it because you have a special degree. And I got all done. I got a call back. They said, hey, it's looking good. Then the Gulf War started. Thank you, Saddam Hussein. That kind of put things on hold for a while. And I was 26. So if you all know about the officer thing, you become too old, it's too bad. I was like, wow, what am I going to do now? I got a degree in forensic anthropology. My first duty when I went back to the missile field, right before I got my next assignment, I was no longer qualified on my weapons, right, because I was gone for a year. And I didn't have the proper clearance to flight sergeant duty, so I was a tech sergeant. So I was on an armed response team, an airman's job. And part of the airman's job is to clean the toilets. And I'll never forget this moment when this airman and me are cleaning the toilet, and he looks at him and goes, so, you got a bachelor's? What are you going to do, It's a true story. Distance learning. What didn't exist when I was around. But it kind of did, because some things that did help me during deployments was testing systems. Dante's and Klebs. I Klebbed everything. I went to leadership school, came back, I had like 27 hours of management. Easy, yeah, I got it. But so CLEP was a good way of going systems. And there was some flexibility starting to be seen, but only on base. I never got the flexibility off base. I got off base, and I had one lady, I had Spanish 201. But 90% are better in all her tests, but I was in the missile field. And she's like, well, I grade on attendance. I'm like, lady, come on, cut me some slack. I'll get whatever you know. Attendance. Ouch. And the PME, as I mentioned, that's me looking all cool in the desert. It's northern Kuwait, I think. So that was my life, constantly. Now here's my hua slide. There we go. And I got to do really cool things with the Air Force. I developed 2 full tactical teams. We did an aircraft recapture team. We could take down a 747 in less than 2 minutes. We did some really cool stuff. That's me in Korea on the left there on an MH-53J. Got to jump out of the back of those a lot of fun, especially when we're flying. Sorry, I got sprayed with fuel one time. We're like, this is gonna hurt. And that is actually me with the Beretta too. And so I tried to take everything to the edge, especially security forces. Most of the time, oh, they're gate guards. I wasn't. I didn't do any gate guard duty. And then, yeah, I did. I actually worked with these guys, SAS. And they beat the daylights out of me and scared me. In fact, the first time I went to the combat fitness test, it's 36 miles on the ground across, they didn't use Brecken this time, they used a place called the General Reservoir. And I thought I was going to die. I thought, these people are insane. So I don't want you to think, wow, he's a commando. No. I was tagging along. Because these guys are the real deal. And they move like Terminator. You ever seen the movie Terminator, the liquid one? Where they fall down? We all fell down. The guys fall down with the big, they get 60-pound rock, you're doing the turtle thing, trying to get back up, But when they fall down, they go These guys are so bad, they got theme music. No, it's British accents too, mate. Let's go. So I got to hang out with these guys. That was a really cool experience. The only bad thing with is my daughter. So this whole family thing started interrupting things. Like, I like to go do stuff and be away from the family. My daughter's like, hey, Dad, where are you at? What's going on? And you never can impress your kids. I told the story to a couple of people last night. I remember her telling me, I came back from the CFT, and I got the belt and the beret, and I was proud. I was like, oh, yeah. And my daughter's talking to these other little British kids, and she had a little British accent because we lived off base. And I heard the kid say, what's your daddy do? I'm like, yeah, listen to this. Well, no. He runs around with paint on his face. S-A-S. How hard are 3 initials? S-A-S. He goes, oh, I think he hides. He runs. And then the little girl, oh, it's like playing games? Yeah, he plays a lot of games. So, no matter how hard you try. That's my daughter. No, she's not adopted. Okay? Takes after the wife, obviously, and thankfully. She's got my sense of humor, by golly. I was at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. I had returned from Korea, had already had a trip to Kuwait, and I was up for a line for chief. And this is the moment in life you all wait for. Chief. Whoa, chief. But when I got back, there was another chief there, so there was only one slot. Chief's world, a little bit different. I say, well, your slot's already taken, so if you make it, we're going to send you back to the desert for 15 months. Okay. I said, I'd like to retire. I got tired. And I'd heard, but really what decided, though, was my daughter was overheard by my wife, who told me that she was crying that I didn't make chief. She was crying a joy that she gets to see Daddy one more year. And I said, that's it. So that's my baby. Good kid. Great kid. And she's studying business marketing at Wright State University. Okay, troops of teachers. I entered the corporate world. I was making stupid money. I mean, like, it was $74K, I'll tell you. That was really good cash. I hated every single damn minute of it. These people are mean. Production management? Man, they do not. And I don't mean to be slamming on. Yeah, I do. Actually, I do. Because some of these places are going to go out of business, and I'll tell you why. It's because how they treat their people. It's terrible. And I have heart palpitations, boils on my neck, coming home grouchy, and it's like, my wife's like, what's wrong with you? And we were making all kind of money, but I was hating life. I was hating it. And some guy called me, and I had a weird introduction to education, because a couple years prior, I did a little demo. We did a lot of demo with some ROTC troops, some little kids, And we did a little escape innovation thing and hunt them down. And what you do with kids is you have the paintball and they don't. It's great. It's fantastic. Because they'll run all day and you shoot at them. It's like, okay. They love this stuff. It's all right. It's easy. It's going to go. Just as long as you don't give it to them. Because they're probably a better shot. Ow, And this guy called me up and says, hey, I heard you were looking. You're in the market. Want a job? Want to teach? I said, you're kidding me, right? So I went down, and then I told the wife I was taking a cut and pay. That ain't over so good. It was painful, but we knew that it was kind of the best thing for me. So I joined that. But the only problem is in the state of Ohio, now where's my Ohio? Anyone from Ohio representing Ohio? We have some problems in Ohio with funding, bad problems with funding. And our district is one of these districts that didn't have new money in 14 years. We haven't passed a levy in 4 years. And we were about to lose, I didn't know this at the time when I got hired, but 150 positions in the district. So I get hired on. But I start reading the tea leaves and going, man, I better get something going here with a license, something pretty quick to back up on. And that's when I contacted the Troops Teachers Office. They said, yeah, you can get hooked up. And I went to the University of Dayton, and the EPQT grant system, which means expanding the pool of qualified teachers, and they paid for my master's degree, which was pretty cool. And then I became a certified teacher. And within those 2 years, I decided to join a team that teaches at-risk teens only. And it was a kind of a big leap. It's one of those jobs where everyone else in the department walks up and go, hey man, I heard you took the Delta position. Yeah, I did. Oh man, thanks. Whoops. I mean, if you're going outside the wire and someone said, hey man, thanks for that mission, it means you're going to die. So that ain't good. I said, what did I get myself into? So I thought, well, what can I do to bring in all that I know into the classroom? And it was a long road. Ohio's teachers, we pride ourselves in being pretty tough. They beat the living daylights out of teachers. And then if you survive the first years, congratulations. It's like a trial by fire kind of thing, Except they don't get the little globe and the fouled anchor like the Marines do. In fact, you don't get anything. It's kind of funny about that, isn't it? But teaching is a strange profession. Anytime you get a new troop in, you barely train them, what do? You give them baby steps, you train them how to do the job. Teaching, hi, welcome aboard. You're a teacher? Good, you get the ninth graders. Oh, I was thinking I was going to teach advanced physics or something, kind of something a little easier so that, no, that's for the 35-year teacher. They get the good jobs. So it's kind of backwards, but teaching, and it's kind of scary the way they run things. Teaching at-risk kids, too, is, oddly enough, it came pretty natural to me. This is Laura. Didn't say 3 words to me the first 3 weeks of school. She was my breakfast club kid in the back, in the dandruff thing in her little drawings. I couldn't get her to say anything. I couldn't get her to turn anything. In fact, sometimes I'd go check for a pulse. Like, you alive? Very gothic kid. But I did notice that she drew. So one day I finally walked up. I thought, I'll kind of lose my mind with this one. I slid a picture of Lenin to her. Not John. Okay, just so I'll let you know it's Vladimir, the Russian revolutionary leader. And she just kind of looked at it and her old punky attitude. And she goes, who's that? It's Lenin. She goes, so? I said, could you draw that? She goes, yeah. Can you paint it? Well, yeah. Did you paint it on my wall? You let me paint on your wall? Sure. Why not? Because I picked Lenin because I knew he'd be edgy. I knew he'd be like, oh, he's the bad guy, She's like, I can paint it on the wall? Yeah. What do you need? Black, white, 1 brush. Still on my wall today. She got a B in my class. Yeah, pretty cool stuff, huh? Yeah. Another cool thing about teaching is you can torment children. Hey, train children to overcome obstacles. There we go. Gotta be careful. Being very used to being a rappel master and being used to high ropes and stuff, what I did was I went to the YMCA and said, hey, do you mind me? I'll show you what I know, and can I be a certified instructor for YMCA for high ropes? So every year, and in fact September 5th is this year for my kids, the first thing I do is I dangle them 30 feet off the air and go, we're going to learn about trust. Because your belay people are your kids down there, and I'm the rappel master. And I tell you what about building trust and self-esteem. This kid, every single step up that pole, I can. It's like, yeah, you're up here. Congratulations. She went all the way across the entire course, too. They ain't another teacher around here who can do that unless Troop did it. Because troops know how to do this stuff. I brought my skills. Because I actually suffered the first year. I thought, I don't want to be called sergeant. I don't want to be, I want to ignore it. You can't ignore your past. It's what you are. And these people bring fantastic things to the world. And you make that happen. Everyone in this room has something to do with making a dream come true for some troop. Future of education, computer courses. I'm like, that wasn't, no one had computers back then when I was around. Alternative programs for experiential learning. We just learned about a really cool one on Western Governors University. A very cool thing, but it was competency-based. It wasn't easier, it was available, it was flexible, it offered you something. And a lot of you out there represent organizations and programs that help people do these things. Portfolios, life learning skills, encouraging the teaching of others, and certainly the teaching trade. You help troops visualize their future, because there really is a future after the military. And you don't see it your first 10 years. I'll tell you, I had fun in the Air Force. Like, woo, Egypt, might I have a quiz, I wasn't thinking about what am I going to do when I get out of here. It came like a ton of bricks at me when I was senior master sergeant, like, oops, I better get educated. Okay. Worst thing I ever hear today is we need a copy of your transcripts, Mr. Combs. $170. You need all of them? You copy your transcripts. And education, for some reason, it's transcripts and fingerprints. We just fingerprint. We need a fingerprint again. Well, you didn't keep the records? What's wrong with you people, you know? And they want, oh my gosh. Well, look at it. University of Dayton, Park University, Antioch, Laramie County Community College, Dante's, UW, University College of London. I actually went to University of London for 6 months till they closed the base. Wright State, Sinclair, CLEP, CCAF, Maryland, City College Chicago's, Troy State. It's kind of if I were to put that on the plaque, that would represent the colleges they went to. And that's not all of them. That's the ones I can find online real quick. Okay? That's pretty cool. In some ways. In some ways, it's like, how many degrees you got? Yeah. Whatever. So, let me tell you, lads. First of all, I'm about ready to end here. Just a few minutes. That's right. That's a real accent there. I worked with a Scotsman in England for quite a few years. And after a while, I'd come home and thinking, right then, I'm Braveheart. That's right, love. I want a kilt. Now, you got to be careful. First of all, you got to have the legs for it. And I do. Let me tell you. And when it comes to swords, says, doesn't matter. Let me tell you right now. When I meet my kids, the first thing they see is either I'm in this or I'm in a Patriot outfit. But I'll put this on, and I'll meet them, and it's the real sword. It's the real thing I got. I got a kilt, and I'll tell you the kilt story. The reason why I got the kilt, I'm 3/4 Scottish. And I got to, when I was stationed in England, go up to Edinburgh as much as I could because I love the country. It's like going home, God's country, you know. And I get up there, and my wife's with me. It's the little kilt story. We're sitting there, we're looking at everything, and we're saying, this guy in a full regalia. Now, these things are expensive. That's a rough cut kilt. I can't afford, it's $1,500 for my tartan, because if you're really a Scotsman, you can't buy just anyone. You'll offend someone, and they'll come after you with one of those blades. And you're like, oh, God. So, I started looking around. But this guy was actually standing there, just parading around like this, and they're proud people, left and right, let me tell you. And they're dogging the British left and right. My wife had to go up and go, is it really true? I'll tell you how the Scotsman will do. Right, love. He goes, right, that's the scepter and the bulbous. Right then. This man was proud, let me tell you. Well, the problem is, because it's true. You go that way, and a lot of people go, oh, that's a dress. No. I don't know anyone would have a blade and no underwear. That's bravery. Or stupidity. One of the two. So my first time I put the thing, I'm going, yep, all right then. And I'm acting like the Scotsman. My wife's going, and you're going to teach kids in that, right? That's right. And they're not going to peek. What? No, of course not. 6th graders. They're trying to lift up my kilt. Hey! So the advice to you guys, if you're a teacher and you have a kilt on, get a pair of ducky shorts or something and put on there. That way they can snicker and, got fun. But it was a true story. And they're like, they would look, wouldn't they? They're curious, little guys. I can't end this without giving my gratitude to the troops of teachers. The state of Ohio, in order to be a teacher, it's hard. It really is hard. And I've had to overcome a lot of obstacles, which they've now made it even easier for new people to come through. And I remember being on the phone with Pensacola, Florida, the state of Ohio, and the federal program at the same time going, yes, he can teach. Because they gave me a sheet of paper from the feds that said, you got 5 years, teach any subject you want. That's what it said. He's got 5 years, he's just got to be in a program. That's how the program started. And the people were like, how do we code this? We had to educate people. That was hard. And that was right before I got hired. And yet now they've turned things around to the point where there's a process, there's a person in each state or region that you can contact, and troops have got another vision, another opportunity to serve their country, their community, and their children tomorrow. And that's a fantastic thing. In 1998, as a chief of defense in Korea, I'll never forget, I came home in April, and I turned my computer on, and Columbine was on CNN. And at my disposal, I remember, because we just left, we had some stuff with some Spectres. We had Spectre gunships, MH-53s. I could call in lawn darts. I felt so powerful sometimes, and I felt so weak and pathetic. And our kids are killing each other. Left and right. I kept thinking, what is going on with our country? And I think this were the plan of the seed that I was going to become a teacher in some, or work with education in some fashion. And that kind of embeds in your heart. That's an important part. Would not have happened without Troops of Teacher. Would not have happened. Because as soon as you walk out, you're used to working. You're used to providing. You have needs that you're going to provide for your family. And most education programs go, I'm sorry, you're going to have to do 1 or 2 semesters unpaid, full-time, to do an internship just to become a teacher to get the first certificate. It's impossible. Well, without Troops of Teachers, I would not be standing here. And without a lot of you guys, I would not be standing here in the programs that you represent. Keep doing what you're doing because you're helping a lot of people. And I want to end the happy story. I get to go tomorrow morning, and it's been about 15 years. But I'm going to go fishing with my dad up here in Morrison. Thanks so much for having me. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Eric. Eric will be going to the White House, I think, next year and receiving an award from the President. And he will also be going on to compete for the Educator of the Year. So thank you very much, Eric. Wow, what a symposium it